Hello, I'm so glad you came to join me today. Welcome. Welcome to the Advancement Center and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Numerologically speaking, today is a one day, which means a new beginning, perhaps a new way of being in the world, or perhaps recognizing oneself as new. What a wonderful feeling. And it's my joy to share that with you. And here's how it works. We're in the 7th month, the 23rd day in the year 2023. Now, when you add that up, it all adds up to 19, which further becomes 10, then 1. The real number. Now, this could be truth or just a parlor game, but it wakens a spirit of curiosity or movement forward. Just what exactly do we mean when every broadcast emanating from the Advancement Center states a welcome to the world of magic and miracles? I see my role today is to clasp hands with you and share that new terrain of this most perfect world that is within your sight. The world of magic and miracles is always within your sight. Whether or not anything gets in the way and takes your attention, it's important to know that behind it all is the world of magic and miracles. Perhaps reading this morning's entry in my journal will bring a new light to share on your world. Every entry is addressed to Simeon. Now, Robert Young, my husband, his twin brother is Simeon, who abides in the outer reaches of the universe. Now, every time I write or communicate with Simeon, I am lifted and transported to where I can look back down to earth. Sounds funny, but from this perspective, there is a focus so sharpened that my vision is crystal clear. Now, here is this morning's communication. I usually wait till the end of a broadcast and then share this, but this is important, and it took me by surprise. So at 7 o'clock this morning, I wrote, "Dearest Simeon, my flow was interrupted yesterday when I did not prepare for my broadcast. Rather, the day was filled with love, joy, expectations fulfilled, and love was so great that a garden of my dreams was fulfilled. Yes, Debbie, my daughter, Bert, her husband, took me to Home Depot to buy plants that will flourish and create a place of beauty in our beautiful home here. In our beautiful home. My handwriting is not what it used to be, and it gets harder every day to decipher. So, yes, we walked around, and Debbie filled the basket with tomatoes, cucumbers, strawberries, and oh, wait. Oh, I see. Okay. I will explain this to you. We have had a garden in the past, and it was amazing. Robert dug holes. We planted every vegetable that you could name. And a few days later, oh, and then they reached maturity, and we were excited and we were celebrating. And we went there, and one by one, we watched our produce disappear. Now, how is that possible? Well, we have gophers, and they were on the lookout, and they just pulled down manna from heaven, and we watched our produce disappear to underneath the earth. We haven't done that again, and I really missed taking care and watering and seeing produce happening. So I continue. So they were bound and determined to create a garden for me. That's where I was. So we walked around Home Depot, and Debbie filled my basket with tomatoes, cucumbers, strawberries, and they would be planted in pots away from the gophers. That's the most important thing. So we got back, and Bert, Debbie's wonderful husband, and Robert and Debbie and I helped. And Bert planted everything. He emptied the soil, he filled the pots, he placed everything with our direction, and voila, what used to be a neglected plot had just become a garden that I could tend, explore, and watch flourish as we watch the magic happen. So I don't know what this had to do with anything, but that's what I wrote to Simeon this morning. And guess what he responded? Dearest Barbara, your joyousness yesterday was oh, your joyousness yesterday was the unstoppable flow of love, no longer defined as mother, daughter, and son in law. Love was allowed to flow without boundaries. Give and take were abundantly in action. No designated giver or taker or receiver. Just love. Love flowing. Historically, it was with the mother to daughter, but now it was daughter to mother with loving husband joining in the pure delight of what was happening. No roles, no directions, just love. And all of this made your heart sing. And that was their only compass. Now expand that to humanity. There is more than enough love available to care for every breathing soul on earth. Food, water, and shelter, the basics. Scarcity is a mind-driven scare tactic. Joy of life itself originates in the beating of every heart, minus all thought emanating from the mind, calculating in terms of lack, shortage, and sure starvation. If not hoarding for oneself or one's immediate family defined by color, language, spoken, or place of birth. Daughter, mother, mother, daughter. And the scar, oh my goodness. Oh, yes, I remember now. Debbie brought lunch and the sweetest watermelon I have ever tasted. And later on, she pointed to the scar on the rind of the watermelon. And she said, the scar on the fruit defines it as sweet because the bees have been attracted by the sweetness. So even though it looks like a scar, it's a sign. That's the sweet melon. Perfect picture does not necessarily mean sweet or perfect spirit. Forgive me for my barely able to read my own handwriting, but the message there was nothing has to be as it has been programmed. Like mother to daughter. This was daughter to mother. Perfect melon doesn't necessarily mean sweet inside. A scar means that it attracted the bees. I just felt very prepared. So after Simeon's message, there was no stopping me. Yeah. But to this I add, please take this as an invitation to each and every one of you from Simeon to be in touch with him. Ask your questions. Pour out all your considerations and just let the stillness in your heart, having just expressed itself so fully, remain quiet and allow an answer to reveal itself. And in those still moments is the magic and the miracles. Now, just 2 days ago in his broadcast, David Best declared that there is a new flow. That was Friday. Yesterday, just a day after David's broadcast, Adrian spoke of that new flow and the freedom it bestows upon all of us just by letting go of thoughts, myths, false knowledge, all of which has been drilled into us and labeled education. Our message is clear, and it doesn't matter on whose lips these words abide. Be the being you are, eternal, majestic. Feel the soothing ripples of that majestic flow and that vibration of all is well. There is so much power in being able to communicate that with someone who has imbibed a concern, a worry, a discomfort, and a hand on the shoulder and a smile on your face, and just say, all is well. How do you do that? Well, you let go of all your thoughts. You let go of what you've understood. You let go of previous knowledge. So much information just to pass an exam. And all of this leads us away from the being that we are. These days, we cannot allow static to interfere with our technology. We are quick to sharpen our signal so that we can hear the transmission via all our electronic gadgets. You know, if there's, I'm showing my age, but I remember in the first days of television, we would get snow across the screen. And we would just get all so mixed up because we were missing part of Ed Sullivan show, or when he had the Beatles on and all that stuff. But we've become sophisticated and we've dealt with that technology, and we don't have those interruptions that were so obvious. But now we have another form of static. What is static? Well, the dictionary meaning is static is lacking in movement, action, or change, especially in a way viewed as undesirable or uninteresting. We cannot allow static. Our life is flowing. It's a stream of purity. I see static as the opposite of flow. Nature and life itself. Static is not allowed. Tune out the static of incessant messages from the overflow of technology. Divest yourself of false promises that lead you away from your own originality, which carries you to beyond technology. And what do I mean by beyond technology? Has nothing to do with static. It has nothing to do with false messages. As a matter of fact, the curtain that surrounds many of the truths in the world is now being taken down in many walks of life. Each revelation opens the way to another, and the opinions of many people are being tested in the minds of many. This activity will continue until there is nothing hidden from anyone. At that time, there will be a sudden relaxation that will reveal the infinite trust that resides in everyone. The frenzy of activity will stop, and humanity will relax into a rhythm of joy and excitement that has never been felt before. Cooperation and harmony will exist everywhere, and our natural form of communication will return to the earth. At this point, many of the functions that occupy people's time will be discarded, and the beauty of the world will be a major focus in everyone's life. As you step forward in the world of magic and miracles, you can bypass everything and be at that point where cooperation and harmony fill your life. There is no need to go through any process because you are not connected to the same timeline that presents itself in the world if you change your timeline. Then the events that you now see in front of you will simply change, and you will be presented with a perfect end result without going through any process at all. The magic is at your fingertips, and it is time to exercise the skills that have been hidden for many centuries. See past the obvious consequences of everything you have in front of you and pull from nowhere a reality that you recognize as yours. Live that reality and make it flourish in every moment. There is nothing to stop the majesty of your being and the ability to perform miracles once you live in the reality of its essence. Experience every part of your life and don't waste time by building belief systems that will prevent the existence of the unbelievable. Live the unbelievable, and the magic will become a natural part of your everyday life. That means so much. So tune out the static of incessant messages from overflow of technology. Divest yourself of false promises that lead you away from your own originality, which carries you to beyond technology. And we just heard those words of truth. You know, we are living the magic of life. And sometimes a hidden talent reveals itself. Sometimes you might just discover by accident, not really, you are led to an activity that you love. Every Thursday night in art class with Mandar, I rediscover that love. And here is my latest. Wait a minute, this way, this way. Yeah. There it is. And I remember in the process, I wasn't having that great a time, but somehow something happened and I recognized I love it. So I hope you like it. When I speak to you, I feel so refreshed, rejuvenated, and a lover of everything that's happening. So I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for joining me. But before I go, I am wishing you a most perfect life, perfect health, and a future that is jam-packed with magic and miracles. Thanks again. I am Barbara.